So today we're going to try out the new machine, which I've been scared of for a while now. So we're going to keep this around 82 strides a minute. With the resistance at 40 and the incline at 10. Hear those very negative, sissy ass diesel trucks? It's quite annoying. Anyways, they love to capitalize on my dorky statements. The freeway, actually. Hella negative. Hella stupid ass people. Anyways. What up, guys? They do that since the day I started exercising. Oh, the machine has begun charging. So we will be doing 10 minutes on this machine, 20 minutes of cardio. With the resistance set to 40. Average 80 to 90 strides per minute. Cybex, I'm not really sure. But it's actually a really good machine. So I'm actually putting a review on this machine as well. And I'm kind of digging it. It's good for the legs. Sometimes they briefly do that shit all day long. So for the last 5 minutes, we're going to put the resistance at 75. Right now it's just 40. This sensor seems to be a little more accurate on the heart rate, but it says 125. It's probably kind of accurate, I guess. I'm not sure. So we put it at a 10% incline, which makes these strides deeper, which is good for the legs and hamstrings, which I'm okay with. What I'm not okay with is that negativity outside. So for the final 5 minutes, we're going to increase the resistance to 75. Not quite double. So my heartbeats are at 87 according to this. It's all over the place. And this is kind of different than the recumbent bike, because the recumbent bike is, I usually do, 30 minutes seated, so it's kind of a lot on the glutes. But it does have its place. Seriously, it's a very good machine. So we are now going to increase the resistance. Like 75. And we're going to try and keep our strides per minute around 80. Maybe not. 75, 70. We're just going to kind of cruise through this 20 minutes. Do some stretches, some positivity, and then we will run on the treadmill. I think I'm going to turn the resistance down to 60. Go ahead and do more strides per minute. And then 65. Okay. Now my strides are around 80 to 82 per minute. So on this machine, we'll train on 40 and 65 for the first few times that I use it, which this is actually my first time using it. So we're approaching the 16-minute mark. So 3 minutes left. Beginning to sweat, which is a good sign. 3 more minutes. And I think this is a good first time for the machine. We will measure our heart rate. Could be wrong. So I still got up puffing. And lactic acid or lactic threshold. So I'm keeping the pace at resistance 40 at resistance 65, which is a little better. It's a 50% increase in volume from 14. Actually, a little more than that. For the final duration of 5 minutes. And when you reach that level of understanding, it matters to those who train. So, if you go from 100 pounds to 130, 140, that's almost a 50% increase in volume. Right. So 25 to 50% increase in volume is a large jump for a creature, a machine, a person, or anything for that matter, including trajectory. With those principles in mind, the 50% increase in volume is a good amount to maintain for 5 minutes. So that's 20 minutes, and it's much different than running on that treadmill. You feel it more in your legs, which is good. So I'm keeping a pace of 80 to 85. No, time is up, 20 minutes. Not even a mile. It felt good. I got a little sweat. The lactic threshold going on. machine's cool. So that was a cool machine. I broke a little sweat. Had my shirt on. A little bit of insulation. Cool. So now we're gonna do shortly, do some stretches or something. 20 minutes on the treadmill, and that will complete the cardio for today. So I'm gonna move our camera to the other part of the gym. And ignore all that negativity outside. They are so childish. I'm gonna go clean the handles on the machine. Eventually they won't be so sticky. Not that that's a bad thing. Grab that tape. It'll last longer. Come up with something. Okay. Now we're gonna go run on the treadmill. And I weighed myself at today, which my weight fluctuates about 2 pounds every day, either up or down. And I have to change my calories at times. $158. So I'm guessing after this run, it may be slightly less due to perspiring and the shirt, of course. So here we go. So I like to do at least a 1 minute stretch, which I normally do before I exercise, but we'll do it on the camera. So if they were like, pick one stretch and only one, it would be this one, because I feel like that you can actually stretch most muscle groups with a toe stretch, basically touching your toes. And it lets me know how tired I am by the calves, by the way how the calves feel. And it's kind of like how I gauge if I've overtrained or not, is by the calves. So anyways, Alexa, 1 minute timer.
1 minute, starting now.
Alexa, cancel the timer.
1 minute timer canceled.
Alexa, 1 minute timer.
1 minute, starting now.
For a while, I used to do 2 minutes. But sometimes the feet fall asleep because you have their knees fully extended. Anyways. Alexa, stop. Thanks, dude. So that was my toe stretch, and we're gonna go on a run. Definitely glycogen levels are all down today, and you know how that goes. 20 minutes of cardio. Cardio. I'm honestly just gonna inhale and exhale for about another minute. I swear it works wonders sometimes. I had a pretty good exercise yesterday, or a pretty good workout. I did some cardio, did a little more extra. Actually, I actually had 2 live streams yesterday, which is an old habit. I didn't do live streams, I would just exercise twice in a day. So this is gonna be like a 50-minute stream with just 2 cardio sessions, and that machine over there is pretty cool. It gives it a nice long stride, almost like a lunge, like a 3/4 partial lunge, which is not a bad movement to do for a while. Unfortunately, the room here is a little too off for me to do body weight squats. I'd have to move to the kitchen. It's just a difficult room to train in. Like the other room that I was training in, that one was also difficult, but I made some gains. But this is like a joint knee thing. Coming soon. Lots of bodyweight squats and other movements. Like inverted rows, pull-ups, which my idea is something as simple as this, or any other rod. You can wrap tape to make it bigger, and a rope, and I roll it from the ground to desired height, whether it's inverted rows or pull-ups. And then of course, once you're in the pull-up, you have to do a little more. And then you can do pull-ups too, and then you let the rope go down, and you can do seated. You attach the rope to a trunk of a tree, for example, and then you can do seated rows. You just have to, you can roll the rope to where it needs to be. And so you also have to dig a little spot in the dirt with your heels and your butt, but who cares? And those are some good ideas that I have, which I've never seen anybody do. That's all. So I felt like sharing that with my 0 crowd of viewers. When you guys left, give me a thumbs up. Thanks, Steve. And my goal is actually to have like a super defined 6-pack, one day at a time, including glycogen. Freaking glycogen. "20-minute cardio." On a 10% slope, which in this room, I don't know if it's an actual 10% slope. It's probably more like 7 or 8%. But you know, a slope's a slope. Any slope's better than flat ground. So here we go. I always put it at 3 because, you know, I'm worried about the belt. use it, but they always like ban my video. So we're on the 12-minute mark. Maybe we'll just walk for a second. 20 seconds or so. It's 30, I don't know. And then I just run to like 16 minutes, 17 minutes. And I walk a little. And then I increase the speed for the last 2 minutes. Oh, by the way, I'll put that information out on the next video. It just popped up in my head. I have to review before I decide that's a good thing or something. Anyways. It's been a while since my food was compromised, and I truly feel like my food was compromised. Too much acid for these same foods that I've been eating. It's kind of bothering me. Just saying. If anybody out there knows, when you buy your Gatorades and the fill line is inconsistent from the bottling plant, your fruit juices are filled to the brim, or they're awfully low in the bottle before you open it. You'll notice stomach acid problems, right? Well, I feel like my food was compromised because I have acid for the first time in God knows how long, and it's bothering me a little. Anyways, number 7. And that completes our 20 minutes of cardio. However, nothing in my diet has changed. This magical stomach acid, quite frustrating. See, I used to buy things at a store, like Gatorade and fruit juice, and I noticed all the fill lines from the bottling plant are inconsistent. They're either all the way to the brim or lower or at a different spot. It's a problem because I'm noticing everyone who buys those has this unexplainable parentheses what they think it is, heartburn or acid indigestion. No, you have a worker who doesn't care about you guys and it's a problem, okay? I 100% know this because the fill line in the bottles are inconsistent. And so I cut all that out of my diet and no longer had stomach acid problems. Now I'm experiencing stomach acid and it's very strange to me. So I feel like my coffee, which I don't drink much, I even use less in a liter. I make 1 liter at a time in a French press. But I mean, nothing will make me more frustrated than doing nasty stuff to my food or compromising it with chemicals and poison. That's what they do. So anyways, this is all live streamed, so whatever ignorant shit they're gonna try and they really do. It's annoying. So anyways, fit check. After running, glistening in the sweat, awkward ways. It's the only time you'll see me get that way is when someone does things and I truly know it. And so it's even more frustrating because I invited my cousin over for food and he declined, which is just strange to me. So I'm like, and then I have acid problems all of a sudden. Can't stand that. So it's like, had he ate the food and had acid problems too, then I would truly know because he eats with me all the time. But I just have my own personal data, so it's even more frustrating. Like, you made lots of soup for us, dude. So So, fit check on a more positive note. My actual goal is to have a very defined stomach. And I mean, I'm noticing so many things as I have all these acid problems in my stomach while running. It's frustrating. And so you'll look in the store at all your bottles of water, and the fill line on the same brand will also be inconsistent. And it bothers me because there are children who may be drinking those drinks as well. It's really why it bothers me the most. Like me, I'll just not buy that stuff. Serious. Prove me wrong so that I'm not so upset about it is the most amazing world, but you know, they would actually have to not have acid in that, which I'm trying to guess what it is. Is it fucking is it muric acid? Is it diesel fuel? Is it some sort of cleaning product? Like whatever they're putting in is it bleach? One time my water smelled like bleach the other day. Seriously. Just felt like sharing that with you guys. I really don't make nothing up. So if anyone has these similar issues, well then that's probably what it is. So fit check. Wholesome and real. No lying. No stupid stuff. The machine reset itself, which is lovely. Lovely time machine to be more supportive. I'm not really good at that one. And a lat spread. Anyways, today was cardio. And I mean, I haven't burped up so much acid and acid indigestion, and I couldn't tell you how long. So I know my food was compromised, and I can't stand people who do things like that. It's bad enough with the negativity of the rude ass trucks and diesel trucks and everything else. So after many, many days and years, I shop and buy my food at the same store every time so I can narrow down all of this acid indigestion and all these stomach problems. I really know I'm right, and I'm so mad about it, you have no idea. Anyways, I was like 7 minutes of, check this out. This is a pretty cool, what I feel is one of the better ones. Dr. Wolf for powerlifting. More positive side. Check this out. It has its standard like this, like all the other ones, and then it has these. Excuse me. It has these, so that I can overtrain without any worries. Isn't that freaking cool? And I have another one, which I'll save for the other video, which is way better than this one. And this one's excellent. And of course, one of these as well, for when I start lifting heavy soon. But for now, I feel like mastering, or excuse me, getting very good at push-ups, sit-ups, dips, and pull-ups, and the bodyweight squats, which I will eventually start having videos of bodyweight squats. And of course, Sam Sulek mentioned that it never affected his total squats very much, doing hardcore leg extensions, and of course hamstring contractions. Anyways, hamstring raises. I'm not really sure what to call that. Back to the book. I'll have to figure out that movement's name. But anyways, we'll be doing leg extensions and hamstring curls before we do bodyweight squat. Which will be 2 minutes of bodyweight squats, 2 minutes of bodyweight squats, 2 minutes of bodyweight squats, followed by, or beforehand, leg extensions and hamstring curls. And please excuse my negativity on the stomach acid, but I know I'm right, and it bothers me so much. And had my cousin join me for dinner, which was very strange, he may even be like, I'm having acid indigestion. And I'll be like, either that new pack of green beans was compromised, which I opened a new pack of green beans for the soup. The lentils may be compromised, or the pinto beans may be compromised. But you know, I can't even eat the rest of the pack that I bought because I feel that I'm right. And I don't know how to explain that. It like hurts my feelings that they do that. And so I used to only shop at the same store, which I still do. And oddly enough, it's the store's new brand, grocery outlet. I wish they would look into that and be like, nope. And I'd be like, then what the heck is it? You know? I would say a little bit of that is venting from that rude ass diesel truck. And I mean, if I sit here quietly, every diesel that passes this house does that ignorant Jake brake, and it freaking pisses me off. I mean, motorcycles are loud naturally, and it does get obnoxious, but you don't need to use your Jake brake on this flat ground right here. There's something wrong. And they blare their horns too. Obnoxiously, every 2 minutes, 5 minutes. I haven't put it on a timer yet. So I just felt like sharing that with you guys in case you notice like some weird negativity. It stems from these rude ass people outside. However, between me and the fitness community, all cardio is good cardio, dude. Swear. If your heart rate goes up for 2 minutes, 5 minutes, that's good cardio. If your heart rate goes up for 10 minutes, that's really good cardio. Anyways, great job anyone else who exercised today, and great job anybody else who did cardio. Before I go, on a more fun side, cool side. Press as hard with your finger. Press as hard with your thumbs. Your pinkies. The ring finger is hard, so I have to do these two at the same time. And then stuff like this for 10 seconds to a minute. And of course, course. Stuff like that for a minute each is excellent, along with thumb, finger. Pinky, ring finger, middle finger, etc. To strengthen hands for the time being. I also like to do 2-minute sandbag dangle, and we decide how big the fish is by going like this for 2 minutes, which is really hard to make it to sometimes. And every now and then I don't. You can hold it this way or this way, which I like to do it with a pillowcase because I feel like it emulates a more natural pull, kind of like Devon, the arm wrestling champion, how they use the strap and they go like this. I feel like a pillowcase. And a pillowcase and a sandbag for 2 minutes, which I like to do after doing my push-ups sometimes because it's a little more, taxing. Is an excellent exercise, and you can decide how big the marlin is, or if it's a tuna, or if it's a trout. Here's a trout, don't do much. And then if it's a marlin, for 2 minutes, which is a challenge, trust me. And the sandbags at the stores weigh approximately 40 pounds, and if you have a pillowcase, you can make them 50, 60, or even 70 pounds, which, that's a nightmare. Anyways, thanks, guys. We're gonna go shower and, love you, Soul. Love you, baby. Just wanted to say that shout out to my daughter, my Soul, mi Solita. Love you, baby. Love you, Soul.